Coming up on a Thursday edition of LSU Sports Showtime. Last night, the baseball team had a showdown against a red-hot Raging Cajun team. Did the Tigers pull a midweek sweep over Louisiana teams?
And Coach Les Miles and the 2009 football team are back on the field as they hold their first spring practice today.
And later, the intramural basketball field has been narrowed down to 2 in each league. We'll tell you which teams made it to the big dance.
All that in your weekend preview. Sports Showtime starts now.
Into the livest game coverage around. Talking LSU sports, Showtime in the towns. Get the scoop on the ball and sneak peek on the track. Key in on the field when them Tigers attack. In fact, you get it back a few times a week. But it starts on Tuesday, third day of the week. They're beasts when they broadcast. Increase like a fall class. Critique when I speak by my squad in the quad, man. Yeah, they the stars on the quad, man. That's the TVC, Tiger TVP. Every game, every star, every player, every situation they facing the star in the making. And you get it first exclusively. Yeah, I know you feeling me. Who want the latest on the TIGERS? That's the LSU Tigers. We get it sparking like a fire.
Welcome to Sports Showtime, your source for everything LSU athletics. I'm Brian Tompkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Palmer. Later on in the show, we'll have your athletes of the week. But first, some developing news for the LSU basketball team.
That's right, Mary Claire. The Kentucky Wildcats have defeated Ole Miss 71-58 to advance to the second round of the SEC tournament. Kentucky will take on our Tigers at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
The Tigers defeated the Wildcats 73-70 earlier this season. Later on in the show, we'll have a full breakdown of this year's SEC tournament.
But first, the LSU baseball team took on Louisiana Lafayette last night. Going into last night, ULL was only 5-7-1 on the season, considered huge underdogs going into last night's game.
But last night proved that in sports, you can't always look at numbers to pick a winner. Let's take you to the highlights, or lowlights if you're an LSU fan. Starting off the night in Alex Box Stadium, it was looking pretty at first, but a rain delay later. Nolan Cain on the mound, he gives away in the top of the first a 3-run homer to Travis Whipple, his first home run of the season, taking ULL up 3-0.
The bottom of the first inning, LSU finally gets the ball, but Ryan Schimpf bats into a double play here, which leaves 3 runners on base. That's 3 runs the Tigers could have gotten, but they leave them all stranded. In the bottom of the second, trailing 4-0, third baseman Tyler Hanover, the sacrifice fly here that would eventually score Micah Gibbs, who began the inning off with a single.
But then the rain began to come down pretty hard, the Tigers hopefully trying to regroup during the break, but clearly they must not have had Spencer Matthews up to the mound this time. Thad Griffin with another 3-run homer for ULL, bringing their lead up 7-1. Later in the fourth, an overthrow from Micah Gibbs, Alex Fuselier scores for ULL again, their 8th run now.
Finally, in the 5th inning, Derek Helenihi hits a slow grounder to second that would score Sean Ochinko. That will make the score 9-5 ULL. Lewis Coleman would come in out of the bullpen and pitch 2 scoreless innings that you see him ring up and get the strikeout here.
Ochinko up to the plate this time for LSU. He hits a bomb out to left center, his 6th home run of the season. The Tigers got a little bit closer. Now the score is 9-7.
Sean Ochinko's efforts would not be enough, though, as Scott Hawkins for ULL would take Matty Ott deep. And deep would mean home run in baseball terms. Matty Ott here would get the loss for the Tigers after giving up his home run. That would eventually put the game away for UL.
The Tigers weren't able to come back from that 1-run ninth as they fell to the Raging Cajuns 10-9. Sean Ochinko led the offense, going 3 for 5 with 3 runs, 2 RBIs, and a home run.
Pitcher Lewis Coleman struck out 5 and walked 1 in 2 innings of relief. Coach Paul Manera was very somber following his team's defeat.
We're fighting from behind the whole time. We got all the way back and tied it up, and you know, anytime you put your heart and soul into something, you're going to have a lot of emotion.
LSU will start SEC play in the box on Friday against Kentucky.
Even 2 rain delays couldn't stop the LSU softball team from coming through with a big win last night as the Lady Tigers squared up against Kirsten Shortridge's former team, the Baylor Bears. With the help of a few very talented freshmen, LSU took the walk-off victory 4-3. A single from Morgan Russell put the go-ahead run on base, and a sacrifice bunt along with a few wild pitches sent her home. 3 was the magic number for Brittany Mack as she allowed 3 runs and hits and finished with 3 strikeouts and 3 walks as she pitched the complete game. The Tigers hit the road this weekend for an SEC matchup against number 8 Georgia, starting with a doubleheader on Saturday.
As the spring sports take full swing, April also brings one of LSU's favorite fall sports back into the spotlight, football. Today marks the start of 5 weeks of spring practice for the Tigers, leading up to the annual spring game on April 18th. As a set of new defensive coaches experience their first LSU practices, some veterans return to the field in seniors Raheem Lim, Harry Coleman, and Jacob Cotrera. Running back Charles Scott looks to lead the Tigers in the backfield with Saron Black returning to dominate the O-line. But what fans will most likely be anticipating is the team finding a standout at the quarterback position to hopefully prevent a replay of last season's 8-5 season. Now I have the honor of bringing sports Showtime analyst and producer Chris Hagan to the set. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
All right, fans are really anxious to forget last season's 8-5 debacle and move on to the hopes of this season. Now, what are you looking forward to most going into this spring?
Well, Brian, I look for nothing but improvement from the Tigers. Right now, it's all about developing the skilled players that LSU returns and getting the other guys ready to step up into key roles of those who have graduated. We all know who's at the top of that player development list, quarterback Jordan Jefferson. He showed flashes of brilliance last season and also lets us know that a solid offense always begins with the quarterback. Unfortunately for the Tigers, the rest of the SEC also took note of Jefferson and will be gunning for him. They know he's dangerous and won't be caught off guard. It helps that apart from Demetrius Byrd, the Tigers return every skill position player on offense from last year, and they can only get better.
Everyone wants to know is how much of an impact Russell Shepard can make. Since he's already on campus and in class, he'll be able to play in the much anticipated spring game on April 18th. Chris, what do we have to look forward to from Russell Shepard?
Well, what I love about this kid is that the possibilities are almost endless. He can throw, he can run, he's quick, and now that he's at LSU, he can be groomed into one of the most potentially dangerous players in the nation. Look for Shepard to get some action soon, especially on option plays, maybe even alongside Jordan Jefferson in the backfield. I know Coach Miles and offensive coordinator Gary Crowden loves Shepard's versatility and won't be shy when taking advantage of it.
All right, all those points you make are very true. And in talking about football, which is my favorite sport, I'm getting amped up about this spring game on the 18th. But
yeah, I can't wait.
Thanks for coming in on the show today, man.
No problem.
All right, over to you, Mary Claire.
If you're looking for a way to release some tension after all those midterms and maybe even get into shape, reporter Haley Lawrence tells us how fighting may actually be a healthy solution.
Punches, kicks, chokeholds, unruly acts of violence in almost any civil environment. Actions that usually render punishment, but not if you are taking part in the increasingly popular sport of mixed martial arts, or MMA.
Basically, it is a combination of boxing, kickboxing, freestyle, and Roman Greco wrestling. Judo plays a part in it, and what they call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Professional MMA fighter and trainer Kyle Bradley says that his involvement in MMA came when high school football led to a dead end.
I played football in high school, and after football, I didn't have anything else to do, like, you know, keep myself competitive. So I started boxing, and eventually got bored with it and started doing the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, and one thing led to another, and I started doing MMA.
Derek Hood participates in the sport for reasons other than staying competitive.
One, I just want to get into shape. I was overweight at the time. Keeps me moving, keeps me agile.
According to MMAFacts.com, between 2004 and 2006, gross revenue of MMA's Ultimate Fight Championship pay-per-view events increased from 47 to 424%, making mixed martial arts one of the fastest growing sports in America. For Tiger TV, I'm Haley Lawrence.
According to MMApost.com, the Ultimate Fight Championship events ranked #1 in pay-per-view hits for 2008.